Alright, go and make some paper, boy. Alright, go and make some paper, boy. Alright, go and make some paper, boy.
Alright lads, I'll give you Blackbeard's honest opinion. You ask me, can this new captain promise you a life of prizes, plunder, and adventure? Aye. Amongst all the gentlemen of fortune sailing these West Indies, he ranks amongst the most clever. There was a time when I thought myself the deadliest scourge of these seas. But this man is a fearsome dog that feeds on trouble and turmoil. I seen him clear the deck of a Spanish galleon like it were nothing. Fighting like a devil, dressed as a man. And he's a canny one. Knows his way around every crag and crevice of these islands. So if his fortune and adventure you seek, the captain Edward can wait your man. Only don't meddle in his private affairs, for there's more mystery to that man than even I dare ask.
I need a camera.
Yo, yo, yo. No, it's not plugged in. Shit. On in, you dog. Get out my room, 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 you dog. Oh shit. What's the problem with this shit? Fucking stream difficulties. God damn. Hold on, niggas. Actually, while we do this, I'm gonna go ahead and put on some music for y'all because it's gonna take a minute. Wait, hit the chill bar. What we got in here? Non-copyrighted stuff, hopefully. Fuck it, we'll see.
Create an amazing website with Fiverr. You'll need your web developer, UX writer, and Amy, a Fiverr freelance graphic designer with dozens of 5-star reviews who will join your team from her favorite coffee shop. Don't forget to tip.
About
Expand.
so I have 3 minutes left on my food, you know. So you know what? I'll play this for now. Yeah, you know what? Come on. I fix this shit. HD my ass. A fucking 720 camera. This depressing ass music, bro. This shit depressing as hell. I ain't gonna hold you. snack of the day. Watered down juice or watered down some of that nature. You feel me? And then okay.
When NCSA came to our high school to provide a recruiting seminar, what attracted
There we go. I ain't gonna lie, my bad, y'all. I should have got this shit together beforehand. Ain't gonna lie. Yeah, I can't configure this all.
If you lose yourself, where you going? Don't ask no questions. You on an elevator going up to perfection.
reference to some shit, nigga. It's pissing me off. Stop it. Y'all know what I mean? Like, come on, bro. Chill out. I ain't trying to make me remember shit. Trying to make me remember a dog dying that I never had. You know what I mean? Like, stop that. Come on, bro. Like, time for that.
As you've like.
When?
Clearly see, the number of merchants roving these waters is 70. The number of military ships.
Aye, easy purchase, but in small doses.
Right. So to lure the Navy out of hiding, it's best to cause a bit of mischief.
Catch a few small fish to attract the big ones.
That's right. So plunder and pillage as you see fit, Captain Kenway.
Alright. That looks rather nice.
Trim us off the...
Sail ho! Military class brig on the horizon!
Good eye, man. Are you ready for this, Kenway? She won't go down without an honest fight.
Who's up for taking that brig, lads?
Shout aye!
Aye! That's a sound I like to hear. Pipe to quarters! All hands to cannons!
Careful around the Navy. They're as likely to ram you as fire a broadside.
Let's test those powder barrels against them, shall we?
Aye, good thinking.
They running on beaches.
All top!
Bring that ass.
Give me some speed!
Alright, hold on. I gotta lock in and check.
Close up! Eat her stick! Loose! Six fire! Fire!
Oh, they lead it? They leaded it?
Fire! Fire! She's weak, she's right there, Captain! Fire! Fire! Hold on! Take some damage here!
Oh, come on, come on.
Fire!
Oh, they ganging up. That's crazy. Man, let me deal with this little nigga first.
Fire! Look, Captain! That's where the most gender! Awaiting your mark! Look out! Line ahoy, Captain!
Man, fucking more
Kick him in the hands!
We'll deal with
Give
him
him
in
a
second.
taste of British steel!
Man, get up! Oh my goodness.
Close down! Catch some wind!
Come in back.
Trim the yards off the wind! And
I'm
throw
coming,
mains!
man.
Let's move! Get them along! Douse all sail! Just the low set, Cap! As much sail as you can! Fire! Are you mad, Captain? Awaiting orders! Fire! Make some shot, Captain! Fire! Reloading! Cannon ready! Fire! Royals atop!
Reload him, come on.
We're ready, Fire!
Nice. Stay on his tail. Make sure they can't turn. They're trying to turn on us.
Dropping mines with curve ability to ram us. Fire! Look, Cabin! Put a shot right through there!
It's over. It's over.
us all but me! Take them all in! Pull! Pull!
Nigga,
Captain's home! Losing!
this man is BS.
Grease the topsails and gallants! Should have struck into that dude! Now we all have to die! Should have surrendered when you had the chance! Ready to cow!
Oh, he dodged it. What is this? Come here. Oh my gosh.
Get the mainsails into the wind! Tops! Gallants! Royals! Studs!
Come on. We're glad for something like that.
Hey boys! Oh, don't just hear the old man say goodbye, fare ye well, goodbye, fare ye well. Oh, don't just hear the old man say, hurrah, ye boys, we're homeward bound. We're homeward bound to Liverpool town. Goodbye, fare ye
Fire! Shorten sail! Get off the squall!
They're gonna try to jump us.
Avoid her ram at all costs, sir!
Two rigs trying to jump us.
Fire! Ready to fire, sir!
We're gonna stay there, little happy ass.
Fire! He's off the... Fire! She's vulnerable there, Captain! Fire! Almost ready, sir! Clue up! Clue up! Mains out, let's go! Fire! Lose those men! Awaiting your mark, Captain! Fire! Those exposed! Make him pay, Captain! Drop fire! Once he tries to ram us! Fire! Douse the gallants and royals! Promise all on! Fire! Look, Captain! That's where the most stand there! Be careful, Captain! Fire! Fire! Working on it! Ready to fire, sir!
Come on, come on, come on.
Fire! There, sir! Shot the cripple! Fire!
Nice.
Ease off the wind!
That's easy right there, boy. That's what I was trying to do the first time.
Get the mains free! Close down, gallants! Pull them in!
I was trying to do the
Get
first
off the
time, but
wags!
it did not work.
Pull them in with a will!
I'm here now. What's up? I don't think they died fast. They recently do something with this game or something. Bro, break the defense. What you doing? Is he hop stepping? There we go. He had to assassinate that. Off the ship. Hey man, did I assassinate him? I was in the middle of the fight, he didn't see me, bruh. What?
That was a rumble, by God. How do we fare?
A fine purchase, no mistake. Now I think it's time to lay low and bribe our way back into secrecy.
Agreed. So, how do we get rid of this notoriety we've stirred up?
Money, my boy. A well-placed bribe to the right government official will see the military off your tail.
Right, let's do that. I'll need to meet these good Samaritans at some point.
Smart thinking.
But can we destroy the other ship though?
And if we
Into the wind!
Get up those shrouds, let's move! It's better to drown than to wait to be hung!
Awaiting order! Fire! Another coming! Can we? Fire! Take a shot! Right there, sir! Fire! Ready to fire, sir! Fire! All in the sunset! Give me some speed!
Oh
Loose
my
main
goodness.
sail! Dropping mines with turbo ability to ram us!
Bro. What you got going?
Fire!
Like damn. Like it stayed there, bro. Like, is that mortars? Why is the sea red? What is this?
Chain shot would slow
Ain't
that
no
brig.
way. This thing got aimbot. It's insane. How they gonna be called a 100 ship and they running? That's crazy.
Fire!
They really running. Look.
Fire! Keep coming! Put a shot right through there! Fire! Fire! Trim the yards off the wind! Fire! Breathe it all top! Break us apart! More sail, sir! Reef the topsail!
Oh my gosh. Why are you tag teaming, nigga? This shit's sorry as hell.
Do not let her ram us, Captain!
This nigga, this hunter shit weak as hell. I ain't gonna hold you. They trying to 2v2 in this bitch.
Caution, Edward!
That's what we doing. You know what?
Fire! Take a shot! Right there, sir!
What's up,
Fire!
What's
Do
up?
not leave us space!
Yeah, eat that. Yeah,
Here
eat
it
that.
comes!
Goofy.
Taking some shot in our
Yeah. You shouldn't have tried to jump in. Now look at you.
Fire!
Hurt.
Careful, Captain!
Oh.
Mains up, let's go!
Oh my gosh.
Enemy's firing! Fire!
Ain't no way.
ready!
You know, we lose like this because people
We're just about
and want to
coming!
jump.
The ship is dying, Kedwin! Fire! Yeah! Fire!
That's us. Missed.
Fire! Firing! Come! Who's you mad?
Bro.
Taking a hit, Cap! Fire! One more direct hit, and we put a deep! Sail! Get off the swarm!
Yeah, we around. Alright.
Use chainsaw to slow her down!
Son of a
They land
bitch.
another we're done for!
These niggas weak as hell, bro. Oh! And they jumping, bro. Like,
That was a rumble, by God. How do we fare?
A fine purchase, no mistake. Now I think it's time to lay low and bribe our way back into secrecy.
Man, where does Hunter
Green.
ship at? I want my ones.
So, how do we get rid of this notoriety we've stirred up?
Money, my boy. A well-placed bribe to the right government official will see the military off your tail.
Right, let's do that. I'll need to meet these good Samaritans at some point.
Smart thinking.
Wait for the day we get our pay. Nothing in the galley, nothing in the hole. Skipper's turned in with the bag we go. And we'll wait for the day, wait for the day, wait for the day that we get our
Man, look at the menace, bruh. Move so I can shoot. Yeah, I know you looking for me.
Fire, sir!
You know what? I want my 1v2 anyway. Come here.
Fire! Ready to fire!
It's up already. Come on.
Close up! Eat her sticks! Fire! I don't like fire! Fire!
This week. This week.
Fire!
Miss week. Oh, he hit us.
She's vulnerable there, Cap! Fire!
I'm going for the ram.
Fire! Stand grabber! Bring the yards up! Come in! Get us off the rocks! We'll need time to host the gallows and wire!
Shit.
Fire! It's all exposed like a shot, son! Awaiting orders, sir! Time to help us with breakers apart! Fire! Yes, sir! Good shot, good trigger! Go boss, we can, sir! Fire!
Damn, they low. They're not. I'm low. I'm gonna have to try to do some maneuvers, bro.
It is firing! Don't hold it for...
I'm both messed up. I need to try to get my focus on this. Variety needs to be long distance, and that's it. Nice, this one's closer.
Fire! Not good enough! We're ready, sir!
You have to utilize our long distance shots.
Fire, sir! Fire!
Oh, he's trying to get on the broadside.
Cannon ready! It is firing!
No way they aimed at me.
can we? Fire! Ready to fire! Fire!
We can get us.
We're ready, sir!
We need to get this shit down, bro.
Ready to fire!
Come on. Alright, we're just gonna have to go around this rock. Trying to edge off points. And they with us too.
Fire! Take a shot! Right there, sir! Fire!
Nice.
Go off the ball! Put your shoulder in! Get the mains free!
Not boarding.
Leave! Shorten all sail! Toss the mains! Muzzle them! Let out
And
some
1 HP
sail!
too.
Unfurl pull them down to hell, lads!
Like, I just believe he gonna get his. Nah, this person, you gonna have to take out everybody in this ship. Everybody.
Beat them back! Keep right back clear! You hear the rules?
Stop jumping. Get off me. Heal up. Look. What's up? If you don't want to die, shoot him every time. If you don't, if you don't want to get hit, or if he's too hard to hit, back done.
We have looted some goods useful for...
Nah, they think they're just gonna let that.
Loose and trim too! Pull down!
Got that
Pull
yellow arc
down!
coming.
Hold hearty, lads! Furl those mains! Loose main sails!
Where am I to go?
Loose the mains, half
They
sails!
next.
Am I to go?
It's all good, bro.
I roll and go.
Round it all on!
To go, me Johnny Rowell.
Close down! Man your seats!
I'm a young sailor boy, and where am I to go? Oh, way up on that young island, where you bound to go. Way, hey, hey, I roll and
Fire!
go.
Ahoy! All hands to station! Awaken your mark, Captain! Fire! Damn! Are you mad, Captain? Shorten sail! Get off the squall! Give me some... Stunsail! Follow the stunsail! Fire! Fire! Ready to fire, sir!
That's 3.
Ready to fire, sir! Fire! Damn! Got the angle wrong. Fire! Finding her partners is like the rammers. Fire! Fire! Task at hand, sir! Fire! Douse all but mains! Get those clues up! Fire! Yes, sir! Good shot, good trick! Fire!
I told you
ready to fire, sir!
What they thought they was thinking, trying to jump.
Come! Gallants! Royals! Studs! Ease off the wind! Ease the men! Muzzle the gallants! We'll bathe in your blood! Paul! Reel the lovers in! We know how... Loose and catch the wind! Get on that main seat! Wreck survivor here, sir! More sail! All sail! All the sail we have!
As I rolled out one morning, I met a lady fair. Timmy! Hey! Ring-a-ting-a-ting-a, ha-ha! Good morning, ladies all. Away you go, Ebola. Timmy! Hey! Ring-a-ting-a-ting-a, ha-ha! Good morning, ladies all. The first time that I saw her, away you go, Ebola. The first time that I saw her, that saucy gal of mine. Hey!
Pirate hunters!
Good morning, ladies.
Another one. I ain't got time for that. I look, he wants it. Started in 51 minutes of straight ship fighting.
Goes the gallants and royals! Reef the foremen! Loose all, let's move!
I ain't got time for that.
Keep up!
Nigga,
Unfold mains, let's move!
man, going on with y'all. Dang. Ain't got time for that.
Goes the royals and toss! Change course! Hold it on the ground, Captain! More swamp water! Hurry!
This nigga's gonna...
Let out some sail! Four tops
Why
loose!
do you want to get folded so bad?
Oh! Crowd it all on! Stunsails out! Use chain shot to slow her down! Trim the
Here
yards
come
off
this
the
nigga
wind!
trying to jump. It's crazy. Good shit.
Loose all and trim sharp to the wind!
Did it till last one.
Sails loose and stays tight!
Ain't nothing. Oh,
Down off
civilian.
at mains! Loose and trim too! Come on those stairs! Hold that blow! Fire! He's weak! He's right there! Fire! Awaiting your fire, Captain!
All that.
Ready to fire, sir! All sails! He'll take it! Do not let her ram us, Captain! Stun them! All sail! Now! Go! Give me some speed! Loose the mains! How's it? Fire! Exposed! Take the shots out! Dropping mines with cobble! Fire! Reinforcements, Captain!
Nigga, get your bitch ass on. Damn. Let me hurt your cousin up real quick.
Fire! Launch the mine there, she's fire! Awaiting your fire! 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 Finish ring! We're ready, sir! Fire! Fire! Let themselves exposed! Make your back up! Out! Let's get moving! Caution, Edward! Chain shot before that brick! They've got us joining the fire! Fire! Reef the topsails and gallants! Blow the mains! Pull, damn you! Loose and catch the wind! More sail! Give me more sail! Fire! Ready to fire, Captain! More trouble, Captain! Fire! Let's hear you sing! Ready to go! Giving the butcher score!
Can't board him?
Mains out!
Nothing?
Let's go!
Ain't boarding?
Keep out of her way! She will round close out! Catch the wind! Douse the royals and tops! All in those hands! Loose main sails!
Hey, you.
Pull top loose!
No, we
More
are.
sail! Drop mines in her path when she tries to ram us!
I want to try to. We can save it for later in the fight. Fuck it.
Fire! She's vulnerable there, Captain! Fire! Ready?
Sound like you.
Fire! The whole place shot down! Ready to fire! Fire! They're so exposed! Fire! Get the shots up! How's all but mains? Chain shot can take away her speed! Unfurl mains! Let's move! Fire! Ready to spit, sir! Fire!
Bitch, turn around! Oh my gosh. I fucking hate this game with that bullshit.
Mains out! Let's go!
They
Throw it all
I
on!
swear. It's just straight BS in this game
Pull the
sometimes,
mains!
bro.
Move down! Fire! She's vulnerable there, Captain! Fire! Sail! Get off the squall! Look, Captain, the whole place shot there! Let's get moving! Fire! There's that! Good shot to Trevor! Fire! She's vulnerable there, Captain! Fire! Give me some speed!
Nasty. Hey, limping away.
Reef! Short north sail! Pull up the fore! Quit your Let out some sail! If she's right... We've a dealer there, lad! What we'll all... Douse the gallants and royals!
We didn't even need the other shit,
Loose
bro.
and catch the wind!
These niggas suck.
Come on those sails! All sails! She'll take it! Loose topsails, gallants and royals! Bring them in for a steely kiss!
I wish this game could have online mode, bro. It'd be so gas. Bro, get up. What is he doing?
Flag that clear!
Nigga boxing with a bullet in him. Now let that happen. Come here. Break that. Back. Break that. Yes, sir. Good. Yo, who you hit? Break it. Oh my goodness. Break that. Come here. Trying to shoot. Ain't no.
That was a rumble, by God. How do we fare?
A fine purchase, no mistake. Now I think it's time to lay low and bribe our way back into secrecy.
I ain't did that.
Agreed. So, how do we get rid of this notoriety we've stirred up?
Money, my boy. A well-placed bribe to the right
Bullshit.
government official will see the military off your tail.
Right, let's do that. I'll need to meet these good Samaritans at some point.
Smart thinking.
Unfold mains, let's move! Let's move! Further mains! Where's those gallons?
Blow ye with westerly, blow ye with blow. Jolly sou'wester, boy, steady she goes. Up jumps the ale with a slippery tail. Lines up aloft and reefs the topsail. And it's windy weather, stormy weather.
Close down, catch some wind! Hey, aloft! Do not leave them muzzled! They go up incoming captain! Race! It's under the hip, sir! Fire! Get them aloft! Down sword sail! Look, cabin! Put a shot right through there! Fire! Put a shot right there, sir! Fire! Loose main sails! Hold up, loose! Hold down! Hold down! Trim the yards off the wind! Muzzle your top! Fire! Reef! Short north sail! Fire! Use chainsaw to slow
Fire!
down! Fire! Take some damage here! Fire! Fire! Ease off the wind! Enemy sail! 4 of them, sir! Loose and swim through! Fire! Hey, loose the heavy news! Round it all on! Fire! Hit him there, sir! That'll wipe him out! Fire! Hit! Fire! Grapple up, sir! Reach the men! Pull up guns! Tops! Gallants! Let's have your confidence! Start! Come on, you slugs! Man those... Yo! Heave-ho! Heave! Heave! Any who's got one hand, die! That's one of the swans that's put on our deck! No! Beat them back!
Shit. Oh, yeah.
That's one of the swans that's put on our deck!
What is it? He said. What's your ether? I ate my leftovers from Red Lobster. I don't know what you might be. Also, you on camera. You said what? Oh, hey.
With what we have taken, we can improve. Let out some sail!
I dreamed a dream.
May aloft on the fore, come on!
The other night. Lola. Lola's away, but my love, she came dressed all in white. Lola's away. I dreamed my love came in my sleep.
I think we're clear, sir. As much sail as you can!
Lola's away.
¿Puedo ayudarlo con algo?
229 metal. All right. Oh, son of a bitch. I was looking for whole armor. Damn it.
Muy satisfactorio. ¿Necesita algo?
When did I kill a pig recently? Further progress. Prerequisite. Okay, it looks to me that all of these are prereqs, so I can't get anything except broadside cannons.
Hecho. Suerte.
Muy interesante. De primera. Excelente.
Hey, stop looking, man.
Care to lose up?
You're a wonder, Kenway. You've a knack for this kind of work.
It ain't work if you love it.
Tosh. But I ain't doing this forever, lads. Only until I get enough coin to buy some land and influence back home.
Jesus, will you listen to your tripe? Still dreaming on about that strumpet back in England when you could have any better you wanted here and now.
Ah, such lofty goals for you gents. And here I thought I was in the company of scoundrels. Fine purchase today. What's the crew's mood?
All smiles and no teeth. And there's a few talking about meeting with Master Kid to steal from a nearby plantation.
Plantation? That's ambitious.
Profitable too, if we can manage it.
Aye. It's a good idea.
No sponsorship. Today is brought to you by sour gummies. Sour Patch, you gotta pay me, nigga. Camera, bro? Oh no, it's just a light. Bruh.
Mains out, let's go!
Get those spars free! Let's see that dock!
Down, sword sail!
Lay aloft and loose mains!
Sally Brown, she's the gal for me, boys. It's down to Trinidad to see Sally Brown, boys.
Roll, boys, roll.
Down to Trinidad to see Sally Brown, boys. She's lovely on the foreyard, she's lovely down below, boys.
Roll, boy, roll, yeah.
She's lovely cause she loves me, that's all I want to know.
All sail!
Captain
She'll
Baker,
take it!
how do you store your cargo?
Loose all! Party like!
Some I stow forward and some I stow after. 40 fathoms or more below, boys. There's 40 fathoms or more below, boys. Way high and up.
All right, heave off, Jack.
Shorten sail! Get off the squall!
Stunsails in! Clue up!
Fall on!
Studs up with a will!
Abandoned ship, eh?
Captain's overboard!
Minute. What the fuck? Is that it? Or is there underwater? I see. I don't know what that was. I don't know what this timer is. This is timer. Let's see what happens to this ship after the timer's going. Would have been us if we were still on there. I heard that guitar. Bro, as of recently in these years, bro, I've been hearing a whole bunch of new guitar riffs, bro. It don't even make sense. Pirate captain outfit. That's 8 bands, boy. That's 8 of them things. I'm kind of rocking with the all black though. Politician, I guess. That all black kind of go crazy. Hold on. What's the all black looking like for real? I can't get it. Available in shop. Can't buy that hoe? Ain't no way. Fuck no, I don't like that at all. Not too sure I like this one. This fit's trash, I ain't gonna hold you. Well, fuck it, we gonna use it today. I really can't get this jump, bro. Can't get none of them jumps, bro. Taken from the fallen assassin Dogma, these sleek robes have been heavily modified to better suit his purpose and personality. For a brief time near the end of his career, Captain Edward Kenway, the legend of the open sea, once had a taste for the finer and flashier things in life. This outfit apotheosis of that trend is the apotheosis. Yeah, it's apotheosis, but like, I guess I just don't know how to spell it. I knew the word, but like, apotheosis. Primary cloak. I like this black shit. It's calm, but it's not calm at all. I'm gonna see. Exit this gym. Let's see.
Dark skies and rough seas there! Captain's trick.
Loose and catch the wind!
Get it out! Cannon ready!
Nose the gallants and royal!
All sails loose and stay tight!
How far away is this? That's relatively close. I think I'm gonna go for this though.
Close up! Eat her sticks!
Go off the floor! Put your sovereign!
Tap those doors!
Swing with the hat is crazy. Swing with the hat is crazy. I think the fish on the roll. Just a little. Somebody's gonna die. Who might this be? Just me or is this nigga? I'm not going all the way over there. Like.
You are dead!
You just gonna play with this one. You're gonna play with this one. Pause. Yep.
Shite. There's been big trouble here. Makes you feel horrendous and hurt. Got to get away from here. Double time.
You luck out and you shoot this nigga. Man is so lucky. Cause if I could, I would've. That's how they get down over here. This nigga steal my money? This nigga pickpocket me, bro?
Look. A little bird told me that someone knew what I was about.
Very interesting. What's this? 9 means Morse. I did not read any of that shit.
Well played.
Not a threat, not a party to it. Leave me be.
How can I help you today?
Come on. Yes! Yeah, we upgrading this junk heavy. Get mortars, nigga. Yo. I didn't even think I would be able to do that in the first one. Yes, sir. We up, nigga. We are up. I'm trying to tell you. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna have to pickpocket some people real quick. Wait, I can just sell. You can now fire the mortar at long range. Hold LB, activate mortar aiming mode using the, you feel me? To aim, press RT to shoot. Alright.
Mutually agreeable, I'm sure. Something on your mind, Captain?
Yep. Sell all that. Firm. Sell all that. Firm. Ah, I can't sell it.
Sweet winds of profit. Follow your endeavors, Captain. You require my services?
Yes, I do. Just spin a bag over here, though. I ain't gonna hold you. Spin a big one. Heavy shot. Alright, so we basically got everything that I wanted to get. Your requisite elite firm. Transfer to the main story. Cool, heavy shot storage, mortar storage, fire barrel storage, crew's quarters. Yeah. Strength, harpoon storage. Okay, so what we need: mortar shot storage, heavy shot storage. And then we're gonna get our stuff. That's cool though. Heavy shots do big damage to your enemies but are at close range. Look to the side and just press RT to fire.
Sweet winds of profit. Follow your endeavors.
Why, look. It's the bastard son of the late William Kidd. Still a mere boy, and yet 10 times the demon his father was.
Fancy seeing you here, Kenway. Still looking sleek and mean. Did you steal that costume from a dandy in Havana?
No, sir. I found this on a corpse. One that was walking about and talking shite to my face only moments before.
Well, this fit we got from the, you feel me?
So, what's this I hear about a planned raid on a plantation? Not keeping secrets from me, are you?
Not very well. Every day, schooners packed with sugar sail past, coming from plantations nearby. Most times they stop here, sell off a few crates. There's one man visiting today that'd earn you a fine profit. So if you'd like to rob his plantation, I'll point him out.
I would. Is it a Mr. Beckford that owns this plantation?
That's the man. He owns dozens round these islands, and he's bloody rich.
Just the sort I like to see robbed.
His agent is a...
Shit. Actually, I think we're gonna continue the Assassin's Creed saga on this channel. So, our origins is whatchamacallit. All that old timey British shit. Valhalla is recent, December 6, 2022. Odyssey. Odyssey was ass, wasn't it? It was the most garbage shit. People were roasting that one. Oh my gosh. They trying to make me put in my damn Windows key, like, nigga. Oh, it's Syndicate. How much is the Syndicate jar? 30. Bet money, nigga. Alright. I think it was Unity niggas then. It's very interesting how they have. Is that a fucking sniper? Assassin's Creed Chronicles Russia 2016. Nigga has a sniper rifle. Like, what the fuck? Rank worst to best. So Assassin's Creed Alter Chronicles 2008. Assassin's Creed Russia 2016. Nigga has a sniper rifle, bro. Never played an Assassin's Creed game where bro has a sniper. Assassin's Creed India. Assassin's Creed 2 Discovery. 14 China. Assassin's Creed 3 Liberation. Yeah, they got that at 13, which is kind of crazy to me. Assassin's Creed Unity 2014 is at 12. Assassin's Creed Rogue is at 11. Dang, they got Assassin's Creed Syndicate at 10. Syndicate looked pretty good to me. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Assassin's Creed Revelations. Revelations? What the fuck is that? Never heard of that. Ever in my life. What is this? 2011? That's probably why. Assassin's Creed Odyssey. That's with the black man in it. Nope, no, it is not. Okay, what is it then? Which one is the that's Origins with the Assassin's Creed oh, okay, so Assassin's Creed 3, like regular 3 2012 is at 6. Okay, so there's a difference. They got Valhalla At 5, okay. Black Flag at 4? I got that at 1. I'm not too sure about that. Brotherhood at 3. Okay. Origins at 2. Yeah, I saw that game was pretty good. Assassin's Creed 2, 2009 at, I don't know what time this is. Oh, 2009. Assassin's Creed 2, 2009 at 1. Very interesting. I would probably switch around motherfucking Black Flag and Assassin's Creed 2 with, well, I'd probably switch Origins with Black Flag. Brotherhood would be in the 4, Black Flag would be at 2. And then yeah.
Around here somewhere. Find and follow him, and he'll lead you straight to your prize.
Crazy. What's this?
Need to disappear, Captain.
I want to get
Oh,
assassinated.
Sofa!
Oh my gosh. It's not even that serious. I promise you. You know what?
Damn!
Abomination! God will see you burn!
I think I had a little bit of Jamaican to the end of his sentence right there. Abomination!
With trader prices, Mr. Beckford knows are fair, and with a quality he knows is sound.
It is hearty molasses and raw cane, that's a given.
It gladdens me to hear you're saying so. But despite the waywardness of your enterprise here, I understand that you are men of discernment.
What do you make of it?
Get back here!
Speak then, bitch.
That means the second. I've modeled 39 and 7. If I got the broken one, I can't believe. So it's first
Wasn't supposed to do that. Definitely was not supposed to.
Trader prices Mr. Beckford knows are fair, and with a quality he knows is sound.
It is hearty molasses and raw cane, that's a given.
It gladdens me to hear you're saying so. But despite the waywardness of your enterprise here, I understand that you are men of discernment.
¿Qué diablos está haciendo?
Better listen to him, mate. He's trying to get away.
Is that money? Hello, what's this?
I'm too broke to be doing that.
some gas.
I'm waiting on this motherfucker to move, but he don't want to move, bro. Shit, low-key annoying. What am I supposed to do? What is the target, G? Oh. First. Thought it was obvious though. Yeah.
Like well your behavior, and as if I often say, I cannot rest contented when you are far away. The roads they are so muddy, we cannot walk about. So roll me in your arms, love, and blow the candles out. My father and my mother in yonder room do lie, hugging one another. So why not you and I, hugging one another without a fear or doubt? So roll me in your
Manning, to me. We've done with this place.
Aye, sir. What's our course?
We'll return to the plantation and there take stock of our inventory. It was a good harvest this year.
You might not talk so loud, sir. This isn't anything like a friendly fort.
Nonsense, Mac. I had a delightful conversation with the chap just now. We came to quite an understanding.
As you say, sir.
All up and unfurl, boys. We're going home.
Run from
I ain't gonna lie, this fit kind of growing.
First watch count. Captain has the helm. Captain, you have the look of a man crafting a bold idea. A look I've seen before.
You mark well, Ade. I've just overheard one of the Beckford's men talking grandly about his plantation and all the cargo he's keeping there, and it gave me the idea that I might take these goods off him and sell them off for a better price than he'd ever ask.
A man of vision. I like this idea.
I was wondering why that motherfucker was so tall. I'm like, damn.
We're sailing straight for land, sir! Trim the yards off the wind! Loose and trim too!
Hold, Ade. There's trouble afore.
I see them.
Survivor here, sir! Douse all but mains! Trim up! Every last scrap of duck on the wind!
Douse those gallants! Haul! Haul!
Starboard! Loot floating by him.
Studs out! Let's get moving!
Loose! Reef the mains! Clew up gallants!
As much sail as you can!
We ride the wind for all she's worth!
I want to know when I can go up against that man of war or whatever it's called. That sounds very interesting to me. Hold on. Let me check something.
Fire!
Kill with more than one, sir!
Oh, come on! Hit the bastard!
trouble afoot.
I see them. I know she's a good sailor. Now prove it, my trumps.
As I rode upward falling, away you go, Napoleon.
Reefing all tops!
As I rode
Four!
upward
Hold up
falling,
all the
I
names!
met a lady.
Ease off the wind! Hold it all sail!
Bring it all in!
Ladies all, away you go, Napoleon. Hey, hey! Ha, ha. Good morning, ladies all. The first time that I saw her, away
Mains out, let's go!
Loose the mains, half sails.
the first time that I saw her, that saucy gallify. Hey, hey!
Loose all, let's move!
Aloft, lads! Shake those royals!
Douse the royals, top!
Mainmast! Bring in the top halyards! Pull!
But when she found that I was skinned
My eyes are zoned in. I cannot talk.
More sail!
As soon
More
as I get to talk
sail!
right now, I'm
Loose
off.
tops and royals!
Ease off the wind!
Party now, my trumps!
Fire!
Burn me, miss! Get our dogs ready to bark!
Gosh. Keep on touching shit.
Daddy, there's trouble afoot.
I see them. Unfurl aloft! Man your sheets!
Trim the yards off the wind!
Get those spars free! Let's see that dock!
Get the mainsails into the wind!
Get on that main sheet! Trim too!
Lowlands away, John. My love, she came dressed all in white. Lowlands away. I dreamed my love came.
I wonder when I'll see a US ship.
All sails, she'll take it!
Cruise down! Man your sheets!
Lowlands away, John. Her cheeks were wet, her eyes did weep.
Douse all but mains! Top!
Alright, chat. Hold on a second. Bring this over. Here's the movie Master. In 1805, brought the HMS Prize, the brash Captain Jack Aubrey and his trusted friend, the ship's honorary surgeon Stephen, are ordered to hunt down and capture powerful French vessel off the South American coast though Napoleon is winning the war and the men and their crew face an onslaught of obstacles, including their own internal battles. Lucky Jack is determined that nothing will stop the surprise from completing his mission. Anyways, okay, what is the... What's this about? That's very interesting. This shit gonna be black and white, ain't it? Yep, black and white like a motherfucker. I already know. HMS Lydia for a treacherous transatlantic mission near the dawn of the night, during which his faithful crew battled both a Spanish warship and a ragged American. Who is this nigga? Napoleon. All right, let's do. Is Napoleon? Napoleon is. The hell is Napoleon? I'm pretty sure it's one of them evil ass niggas. Oh, it's the French motherfucker. That's what Napoleon is. All right. Okay, interesting. Very interesting here. Saving Private Ryan. All right. We finna go read some fucking literature in this bitch. Ah, the Rough Riders, nigga. What we got? Military unit. In 1731, Spanish sailors boarded the British brig Ocao, sliced off the left ear of his captain, Robert Jenkins, who was used as a pretext by the British to declare war on Spain in 1739, a conflict that is known as the War of Jenkins' Ear. They slid up for Jenkins' ear. Hey, can't be mad at it. Damn. Just like, fuck your ear, nigga. Damn. That's tough. Something different. They got movies on this shit. Does it look interesting to me? Alright, so let's look here. War of Spanish Succession, right? Right. So broke out when triggered by the death of Alright, what were the sides in the Spanish? My ADHD is working out the ass right now, y'all. It's gotta happen. I need to know. Alright. So what was it? War was fought between Habsburg Spain in alliance with the Holy Roman Empire, Great Britain, the France and Spain had to support two reluctant allies. Man, damn, just see, this is what I hate about this shit, bro. It says two reluctant allies to support two reluctant allies. France and Spain had the support of two reluctant allies, Portugal and Savoy. Nigga, what? They said and, so what are they playing both sides, nigga? Or is it just like what is this? You know what I mean? Like, which feared to oppose the Bourbons? I don't know who the fuck those are. Whose forces control Spain and the Spanish possession in northern Italy? Fuck's sake. You need to go to a fucking class to understand this shit. Alright. To YouTube we go. Where is he? Over. Yes, sir. My guy. My guy. Where is he? Is this oversimplified?
You really think
Did
you
he
can get me to
rename
like
himself?
dark chocolate?
I think he renamed himself. No, he didn't rename himself. Who the fuck is this? Bro, what the fuck, bro?
This video was made possible.
Where is my guy at, man? That looks like some. This is a stream, so I can edit this out. We can do anything, nigga. So, really, I'm finna watch some Oversimplified right now, real quick. I ain't gonna hold you. Let's see this.
Holy smokes. Christopher Columbus, that is no way to address the King and Queen of Spain. What is wrong with you? Okay, so you know how we're looking for a new trade route to India, right? Right.
That's definitely oversimplified. That's one of his intros like a motherfucker. Hold on. Go back. Dates. 1760. What the fuck? So he became in 1776? What the fuck? Okay, March 2nd, 22nd, 1765. Oh, it started in American Revolution. Bill of Rights in 1791. Shit. Alright. So what is the 1776 then? So, but they so in 1776 they severed that shit. But in 1791 they signed the Bill of Rights type shit. Cool, calm.
And the Earth is round, right? Right. So I'm thinking we can just sail the other way around the planet, right? Yeah. So I set sail, right? Mm-hmm. And I reach India, right? Right. Wrong. I did not reach India. I did not. All right. No. All right. Get to the point. Did you know there's a whole nother freaking continent out there? Okay, and you think I should care about this? Why? Oh, I'm sorry. Did I forget to mention there's gold everywhere? Gold? Columbus landed in Central America in October 1492, and he had the time of his life. And by that I mean he went on a huge theft and murder spree. He stole gold, jewelry, people, and a hammock. And then he returned to show off all of his riches, including a few previously undiscovered items such as tobacco, the pineapple, turkeys, and a hammock. Now I Central America in October 1492, and he had the time of his life. And by that I mean he went on a huge theft and murder.
Nigga just robbed and pillaged like a fucking pirate.
He stole gold, jewelry, people, and a hammock. And then he returned to show off all of his riches, including a
But
few
he robbed the
previously
Aztecs?
undiscovered
Hold
items.
on. Fuck that nigga Columbus. It's been that since that's tough. Well, zoom in, bitch. Gonna show me food and shit. What the hell? Aztecs. Aztecs versus Spanish. What the fuck? In 3 minutes. All right, fuck it. This is a side quest, so we can.
A challenge I
fuck
had
with
to
the
deal
3
with
minutes real
throughout the
quick.
recruiting process was just identifying which schools had a need for a kicker.
The Spanish discovery of the New World by Christopher Columbus led to the establishment of permanent European settlements. And by the early 16th century, Spain controlled the entire continental shore of the Caribbean Sea, including Cuba and Hispaniola. In 1518, the Spanish governor of Cuba, Diego Velázquez de Cuellar, commissioned Hernán Cortés to make contact with the natives in Mexico. But it became clear that
So she
Cortés
gonna
was
say,
arming and
"Alright."
provisioning for an expedition of conquest. Velázquez tried to replace Cortés, but his replacement was intercepted and killed. Cortés and a few hundred men set sail for Mexico in an act of open mutiny. Central Mexico at that time was dominated by the Aztec Empire, a confederation of city-states that had united and expanded over the past century. They were surrounded by various other states like the Tarascan, Tlaxcala, and Mixtec, while most of southern Mexico was controlled by the Maya. Cortés soon landed on the island of Cozumel, where he met with a white shipwreck survivor, a Franciscan priest, who served as his translator. They captured the capital of the small Mayan state, Potonchan, and were awarded with women, one of whom, La Melinche, who became Cortés's mistress and translator. Cortés then landed on the coast of Veracruz in April and created a new settlement. As an elected official of the new town council, he reported directly to the
Now, if I remember correctly, Aztecs wasn't going for that
Spanish
shit.
crown, which allowed him to avoid prosecution for defying Velázquez's orders. The Aztec Emperor Moctezuma II agreed to send representatives to meet with Cortés, but refused to meet with him personally. Cortés scuttled his own fleet to avoid his men escaping, formed an alliance with the local Totonac chief, and marched inland to the Aztec capital Tenochtitlan in August. Although they met some resistance from the Otomi and Tlaxcalans, they decided to unite against their common enemy, the Aztecs. Together they continued on to the holy Aztec city of Cholula, which they took without any resistance. But Cortés got word of a plot to murder the Spanish in their sleep, so he killed over 3,000 people and burned the city to the ground. Fearing a similar fate, Moctezuma chose the path of diplomacy and invited the conquistadors to visit the capital. November 8, 1519, Cortés and his men arrived at Tenochtitlan, and according to Cortés, Moctezuma pledged his loyalty to the King of Spain. However, this is unlikely, because when Cortés planned to place an image of the Virgin Mary and a cross at the top of their main temple pyramid, Moctezuma responded by killing 7 Spaniards. Cortés quickly arrested Moctezuma, who did not resist because he feared an open rebellion in the city would allow the Spanish to install another prince as emperor. Meanwhile, Governor Velázquez sent Pánfilo de Narváez to Mexico with orders to capture Cortés for violating his orders. Cortés quickly defeated this force in April 1520. However, when he returned to Tenochtitlan, he found the city was in open rebellion after his men had massacred Aztec nobility in the Great Temple. He ordered Moctezuma to speak to his people, but they threw stones at him instead. Moctezuma either died from his injuries or was killed by the Spanish before they fled the city. They lost many men during their hurried retreat, but, despite being heavily outnumbered, were able to defeat the pursuing army led by the new emperor Cuitláhuac in July 1520 at Otumba. The Tlaxcala gave the surviving Spanish refuge, while a smallpox epidemic killed many Aztecs, including Cuitláhuac. So the Spanish regrouped, built boats, and with fresh reinforcements and tens of thousands of Tlaxcala allies, marched on the capital again. They arrived at the city in May 1521.
Oh, so the Aztecs was kicking niggas up out that motherfucker. Boxing niggas up. That bitch. Because you talking about.
Blocked the causeways leading into the city, captured their water supplies at Chapultepec, and patrolled the shores to prevent supplies being ferried in. They broke into the city in August. The new Emperor Cuauhtémoc was caught trying to escape, and the Aztecs surrendered. The city was destroyed, and the surviving Aztec people were cast out, forbidden to live in the ashes of their former city. On the site, Cortés began to build the foundations of what would become Mexico City. Neighboring states like the Tarascan submitted to Spanish rule. It would take the Spanish another 100.
That shit tough. That shit tough, G. I ain't gonna...
70 years to finally end the resistance in Mesoamerica and conquer the Maya in the Yucatan Peninsula. Disease would prove to be their strongest ally, with 3 separate epidemics that may have killed as much as 75% of the indigenous population. We'd like to thank Jabsy for hosting us on this episode.
That's tough, man. For real.
Such as tobacco, the pineapple, turkeys, and a hammock. Now I know what you're thinking, but Columbus landed in Central America in October 1492, and he had the time of his life. And by that I mean he went on a huge theft and murder spree. He stole gold, jewelry, people, and a hammock. And then he returned to show off all of his riches, including a few previously undiscovered items, such as tobacco, the
But
pineapple,
that wasn't
turkeys,
Columbus who did that, though. She said who?
16th century, Spain controlled the entire continental shore of the Caribbean Sea, including Cuba and Hispaniola. In 1518, the Spanish governor of Cuba, Diego Velázquez de Cuellar, commissioned Hernán Cortés to make contact with the natives in Mexico. But
Hernán Cortés. Who the fuck is Cortés? Didn't that nigga have... Wasn't he one of the people... Is former governor of New Spain. Conquering the Aztecs and claiming Mexico on behalf of Spain. That shit weak. I'm gonna lie, that shit weak, bro. Niggas was out there. That shit weak. That shit weak as hell. They had disease.
A hammock. Now I know what you're thinking,
They
but
wasn't fighting for
oversimplified,
it.
Columbus didn't discover America, the Vikings did. And you'd be partially right. In the 11th century, Leif Erikson was the first European to land in America. But hey, if you love Vikings so much, then why don't you check out today's sponsor? Vikings War of Clans is a mobile game that was inspired by building Vikings and players and could look me up. Oh yeah. New World. After a couple which both the English and the French claimed as theirs, I could not. And they went ahead and built their forts, which pissed off the English, so they sent an up-and-coming British lieutenant colonel by the name of George Washington with a combined force of British troops and Native Americans. After a short battle, the French commander said, "Alright, George Washington built their forts alone." After time of his life, nickname oversimplified. Now where was I? Oh yeah. Columbus, time of his life, hammock. And suddenly the race was on to explore and conquer the New World. After a couple centuries of warring with the natives and each other, the European powers had claimed quite a lot of land, including this area, which both the English and the French claimed as theirs. The European powers had claimed quite a lot of land.
That the Spanish bastards. So the Spanish done. Oh yeah. Cause all that land was really. Well, natives was up in there.
Time of his life, hammock. And suddenly the race was on to explore and conquer the New World. After a couple centuries of warring with the natives and each other, the European powers had claimed quite a lot of land, including this area, which both the English and the French claimed as theirs. One day the French said, "I'm gonna build some forts along here." And the English were like, "Could you not?" And the French said, "Sorry, but no, I could not." And they went ahead and built their forts, which pissed off the English, so they sent an...
Okay, so the French was in that bitch. Oh, because the French was in Canada, weren't they? And they... I need the images. Some niggas, they was in that motherfucker. I ain't gonna hold you. Shit is confusing as fuck, bro. What are they talking about, man? I don't understand it, bruh. Like, Spain covered this shit. Great Britain covered territories ceded by France to Great Britain by the Treaty of Great Britain already. Type shit. Newfoundland. Nigga, that's... One of these is motherfucking Valhalla. Or not Valhalla. Motherfucking... Forgot the name. France. One of these is a Viking land. It's either this one or this one. One of these hoes was next, it's close off the, it's like close up here type shit. Some Vikings was up in that bitch.
An up-and-coming British lieutenant colonel by the name of George Washington with a combined force of British troops and Native Americans. After a short battle, the French commander said, all right, we surrender. Okay, boys, pack it up. They're surrendering. Oh, sorry, was I not meant to split his head open with a tomahawk? Don't worry. It's not like this will start a 7-year-long major global conflict. And what happened next was a 7-year-long major global conflict, which Great Britain won. At the long major global conflict. And what happened next was a 7-year
Was this the year? When was this? He didn't make a timestamp.
Here. And the English were like, could you not? And the French said, sorry, but no, I could not. And they went ahead and built their forts, which pissed off the English, so they sent an up-and-coming British lieutenant colonel by the name of George Washington with a combined force of British troops and Native Americans. After a short battle, the French commander said, all right, we surrender. Okay, boys, pack it up. They're surrendering.
Or Jenkins' ear was flused by the involvement of his half brother Lawrence Washington. Nigga need timestamps in this bitch, bro. Where real timestamps at, bitch?
And join my Vikings clan under my nickname, Oversimplified. Now, where was I? Oh yeah, Columbus, time of his life, hammock. And suddenly the race was on to explore and conquer the New World. Including this area, which both the English and the French claimed as theirs. One day the French said, I'm gonna build some forts along here. And the English were like, could you not? And the French said, sorry, but no, I could not.
Fuck it.
And they went ahead and built their forts, which pissed off the English, so they sent an up-and-coming British lieutenant colonel by the name of George Washington with a combined force of British troops and Native Americans. After a short battle, the French commander said, oh,
Damn, the French had Russia with them, and they.
all right, we surrender. Okay, boys, pack it up. They're surrendering. Oh, sorry, was I not meant to split his head open with the tomahawk? Don't worry, it's not like this will start a 7-year-long major global conflict. And what happened next was a 7-year-long major global conflict, which Great Britain won. At the peace negotiations, Spain gave up Florida, while France gave up all of its territories in North America. But Britain's victory came at a cost, a £60 million cost. They were now broke, in a lot of debt, and had to come up with some way to repay it. So they went to the colonies and said, okay, listen up. So a huge part of the war was spent protecting you from the French, and now we have no money because of it. So I'm not sure what you're saying here. Okay, so we spent a lot of money protecting you from the French, right? Right. And now we're broke. That certainly is a pickle. Listen to me. We spent all of our money protecting you, and now we need money. Can you please pay us back some money? No. Okay, we're just going to go ahead and tax you. In 1764, Britain introduced the Sugar Act, forcing the colonists to import sugar and molasses exclusively from the British and to pay duties on them. Then a year later, they introduced the extremely controversial Stamp Act, and it worked a little something like this. Hello, shopkeep. Hello, Mr. Bungleberry. Here's the deed for your new shack. Stamp. That'll be 3 pence, please. Wait, what was that? It's the new tax. I get a stamp on any paper or documentation I make, and you have to pay for it. Would you like to see this pamphlet that explains everything? Yes, please. Okay. Stamp. 2 pence, please. This is awful. You know what? Just give me a deck of cards so I can go gamble my pain away. Okay. No. Don't do it. Stamp. Obviously.
Epidemic Sound is basically a royalty-free soundtrack company. So it's where I go to when I want to get...
The colonists were like, hey my dudes, this new tax legislation right here, this is BS. Until now they had enjoyed relative freedom to rule themselves, and now suddenly Britain was asserting its control. They were especially unhappy because they didn't have any representatives in the parliament that was levying taxes on them. So they protested. Orators gave fiery speeches. British goods were boycotted, and anyone loyal to the British found themselves increasingly harassed. The whole thing actually began to take quite a toll on British business, and after just a couple years, the British were forced to repeal the Stamp Act. But we still desperately need money. What should we do? We could try taxing the colonies. Great idea. Wait, didn't we literally just try that and it failed miserably? Man, look at me. I look fabulous. Have you ever seen such a handsome boy? No siree, Georgie. No way. You're the handsomest, smartest, most popular king that ever lived, and everybody likes you. You're doing such a good job. Your Majesty? Oh, you're still here. Get the hell out. So in 1766, the British made a declaration saying, we can do what we want because we're in charge and you can all go suck it. Then they levied a whole bunch of new taxes on the Americans via import duties. Glass? There's a tax for that. Lead? There's a tax for that. Paper? Tea? Oil? There's a tax for that. And once again, the Americans boycotted British goods, British business felt the pinch, and the British had to back down. Alright, this is ridiculous. They're my colonies and I have to be able to assert my control. Repeal all the new taxes except for the one on tea. Also send 1,000 troops to Boston to take control. Oh, and make the colonists pay for them. And as British troops arrived, the tension in Boston was palpable. You could cut it with a knife, and it was all about to come to a head. On March 5th, a band of local patriots began heckling a British guard at the customs house. More and more Americans joined in the heckling, while more British troops turned up in support of their comrade. Snowballs were thrown at the British. The snowballs turned to rocks, the rocks to oyster shells. The soldiers, outnumbered, panicked. One thing leads to another, and you can see where this is going. 5 civilians were killed. The Patriot press throughout the colonies declared the Boston Massacre an unwarranted crime committed against the people of Boston by the cruel British, and the anger continued to grow. A British revenue schooner that ran aground in Rhode Island was burned by the locals. When it came to light that the governor of Massachusetts supported the suppression of the colonists, his house was burned by the locals. And next, the colonists would set their sights on the remaining tax on tea. On December 16, 1773, a band of patriots known as the Sons of Liberty disguised themselves as Native Americans, marched down to Boston Harbor, boarded a British merchant ship loaded with tea, and in front of thousands of spectators, threw nearly 10,000 pounds worth of tea overboard. The British were disgusted, and they punished Massachusetts with a vengeance. They dissolved its General Assembly, revoked their charter, and sent 3,000 more troops to occupy the city, meaning Boston and Massachusetts were now essentially under the direct rule of Great Britain. And oh boy, were the people pissed. The other colonies saw what was happening and worried they might be next. So they called a brain trust to decide what to do. 56 delegates from 12 colonies gathered and met in Philadelphia at the First Continental Congress, and the roll call read like a who's who of America's finest thinkers. I'm talking lawyers extraordinaire Johnny A and Johnny J, experienced military commander George Washington, businessman and future alcoholic beverage Samuel Adams, fiery orator Patty H, guy who married a rich lady Big J Dickinson, and while they weren't Adams, fiery orator Patty H, guy who married a rich lady, Big J Dickinson, and while they weren't present at the first Congress, soon names like James Madison, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and much later Alexander Hamilton would all serve time in the Continental Congress. The question now, though, was what to do about the British. After much bitter debate and disagreement, they eventually agreed on an amazing solution. They would simply ask the British to stop. Can you stop? No. It didn't work. Okay, then tell the local militias to start arming and be ready at a minute's notice. And across the colonies, these Minutemen stood ready for the beginning of the American Revolutionary War. Now, having your colonies in open rebellion is one thing. Once they start arming themselves, that's when it really hits the fan. So British General Thomas Gage ordered 700 troops from Boston out into the rebel-controlled Massachusetts countryside to destroy stores of arms and ammunition held by the rebels in Concord. The British set out in the middle of the night. Patriots including Paul Revere rode ahead to warn that the British were coming, giving the rebels time to prepare. The two sides met in Lexington as the sun began to rise. They faced off against each other, and in the confusion, somebody shot first. The shot heard around the world marked the beginning of the American War of Independence. The rebels were outnumbered and had to fall back to Concord as the British split up to search for rebel supplies. However, more and more Patriot rebels kept showing up, and this time it was the British who were outnumbered as more fighting kicked off in Concord. The most professional army in the world was forced to flee back to Boston at the hands of local, poorly trained militiamen. And all along the British route back to Boston, Patriot rebels continued to gather and open fire on the retreating British. When the British reached Boston, the rebel militias surrounded them. Boston and the British were now under siege as small land and naval skirmishes continued around the city. And the British would suffer another embarrassing blow, this time in upstate New York. Colonel Benedict Arnold concocted a plan to take the British stronghold Fort Ticonderoga, which held a large amount of guns and ammunition. He set off towards the fort alone, hoping to recruit men along the way, when he came across the Green Mountain Boys, led by Ethan Allen, who, as it turned out, had the exact same plan he did. So they decided to work together. But I'm in charge. No, 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 I'm in charge. This went on for some time, until the Green Mountain Boys threatened to go home, and Arnold had to concede. The group raided the fort at night while the Redcoats were asleep, and they caught them completely by surprise, taking the fort and all of its munitions with almost no resistance. Wow, great job, Ethan. Very impressive. By the way, what happened to that other guy we sent to take the fort? Who? Benedict Arnold. Never heard of him. Ouch.
Good morning, Steve.
What the fuck?
What the fuck? Nobody knew what was going on. The colonies were in open rebellion, and for now, they even seemed to be winning. So King George fired General Gage, replaced him with General William Howe, and ordered the rebellion to be put down immediately. Okay, the British are definitely going to retaliate for all of this, so we should probably put together a proper army. First, we need to pick a commander-in-chief, and I think we can all agree that that job should go to the man, the myth, the legend, George Washington. My friends, I am humbled and honored that you would consider me for such an important role. I did not expect for this. All right, you've been showing up in a military uniform every day for the last 10 months. We all know you wanted this, so cut the crap, George. Dude. Uncool. So Washington began his journey up to Boston to take command of the newly established Continental Army, just as the British made their first major attempt to break the siege. They made plans to take the high ground on Bunker Hill, but spies warned the Continentals of the British plans, so they fortified Bunker Hill and set up defensive positions on nearby Breed's Hill. The day of the battle came, and as the British advanced, a barrage of Continental gunfire was opened up on them. Twice they tried to climb the hill, twice...
Let's see it. Images. Fucking shit up. Crazy. What is this, 3? Is this the third one or the second one? What game is this? Advantage of bunker. There's closeness to what? Ah, yeah, it was 3. Oh, that's fucking legendary. Hold on a second. They got a remastered junk. Oh, it might be up. I ain't gonna lie, it might be up. Oh.
They were pushed back. The battle lasted 3 hours until the Continentals finally ran.
Real quick. American Revolution. Quick. Son of a bitch.
We hope you will enjoy the following ranking. Please let us know your favorite in the comments, and make sure to subscribe to never miss a good movie again.
Number.
Let's see. Patriot. That was a 2000 film. And it's on Tubi. Bet.
Ran out of ammunition and had to retreat, allowing the British to take the hill. While technically a British victory, they suffered nearly 1,000 casualties to the Continental's 400. The colonists showed the British that this wasn't just a rebellion, it was war, and they were ready for it. But one thing they weren't sure about was why they were fighting. While some radicals were starting to throw around the I word, most hoped to eventually repair their relationship with Great Britain. So they sent a letter to King George saying, "Hey man, looks like things aren't going your way. Remove the taxes and let's be friends? I'm gonna kick your ass. Send that to the colonies. Your Majesty, your handwriting is terrible. Are you sure? Just do it." What does it say? He's gonna lick my growth.
My name is Nick Rice with Rice Law. When you begin looking for a divorce attorney, the first thing you need to figure.
So for the remainder of the year, small engagements continued to occur around the colonies. The British burned down the towns of Falmouth, Massachusetts and Norfolk, Virginia as revenge for earlier anti-British incidents. These actions played right into the hands of Patriot propaganda. Overseas, the British were seen as brutes, and the French and Spanish would soon begin sending supplies to the rebel cause. During this time, there was also minor fighting going on between Patriot and Loyalist militias in the southern colonies. Militias in the southern colonies. Benedict Arnold was still on a mission to win some personal glory for himself, so he headed up an attempt to invade Canada in a two-pronged attack. The Continentals managed to capture some British forts and the city of Montreal, but a harsh snowstorm with some smallpox on the side saw them defeated and pushed back at Quebec City, and they were forced to retreat all the way to Fort Ticonderoga. Speaking of which, remember all those guns and ammunition? Well, this guy's got a plan for what to do with them. He uses oxen to drag 120,000 pounds of artillery for 2 months through the harsh winter, 300 miles all the way to Washington and his Continental Army surrounding Boston. Boom. Washington's got himself some big guns, which is fortunate because up until now his army had been suffering through the cold winter, not knowing when the siege would end. Now, they could make a move. Washington wanted to launch a full assault on the city, but his junior officers felt the British were too fortified, and to his credit, Washington was great at hearing and taking on board the ideas of others. Instead, the Continentals worked through the night setting the guns up on Dorchester Heights, overlooking the city, and when dawn broke and the British saw the guns, they knew they were toast. Their positions were completely exposed. It was checkmate. They had no choice but to abandon the city. 120 ships carried 9,000 redcoats and 2,000 loyalists away to an unknown fate, and Washington had his first victory of the war. Washington then moved his army to New York, knowing that when the British returned, they would probably land there. In the meantime, a friendly-looking old man by the name of Thomas Paine had written and published a pamphlet called Common Sense, in which he advocated for total independence from Great Britain. It spread across the colonies like wildfire, and to this day remains the best-selling title in America. It was read aloud in taverns and meeting halls, and brought the idea of independence into the mainstream. Congress began to seriously consider the idea. Thomas Jefferson was selected to write up an official Declaration of Independence, and he went hard, writing that all men are created equal, with certain inalienable rights, including life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Of course, Jefferson had over 100 slaves, but we don't have to talk about that. On the 2nd of July, Congress voted unanimously in favor of independence, and John Adams declared that the 2nd of July would go down as the most remembered day in American history. Then a couple days later, independence actually came into effect. The United States of America was born. There was no turning back now. The Americans tore down a statue of King George in New York and melted him down into 42,000 musket balls. To the British, it was treason, and if the king had his way, Washington and all of Congress would be hung. Speaking of the British, guess who's back? The king sent an intimidating force of 130 warships and 25,000 men to New York. Washington knew that taking on the most powerful military in the world wouldn't be easy. The British set up camp on Staten Island as the Americans dug into defensive positions around Brooklyn Heights, waiting for an attack to come. But the British just waited, wearing down their opponent's nerve while building their own strength. At one point, they launched a big scary artillery barrage and then said, you know, if I was you right now, I'd probably sue for peace. But Washington told them to shove it. The Americans kept holding out for what was coming, and when they finally hit, they hit hard. 15,000 British troops approached the American position, and the two sides fired on each other in massive rows. But what the Americans didn't realize was they were only fighting a decoy. The main British force was going around to flank the Americans from behind, and when they arrived, they inflicted heavy casualties. The Americans panicked and retreated back to Brooklyn Heights, where they then found themselves trapped between the British army and the river. It looked as though the war was already lost, but luckily, instead of attacking, the British decided to dig in for a siege, and then a thick fog set in, allowing Washington's army to escape across the river unimpeded. The British continued to chase
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's where that picture come from.
and engaged
What's
fog
the
set
river
already
called?
lost, but luckily, instead of attacking between the British casualties and the river, it looked as
Images, 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 nigga. That's probably not the same, but oh my gosh. Wait.
as though the war was
That is
already
not the
lost,
same.
but luckily, instead of attacking, the British decided to dig in for a siege, and then a thick fog set in, allowing Washington's army to escape across the river unimpeded. The
Oh,
British
shit.
continued to chase and engage the Americans at Manhattan, and the Americans suffered defeat after defeat after defeat. It was a disaster. Washington's leadership was called into question, as thousands of American POWs were left to rot as traitors. Washington's army fled through New Jersey all the way down to Pennsylvania. Rarely had an army been so badly beaten, yet survived to fight another day.
I would say the most valuable tool that NCASA offered was just being able to have an area where coaches could come just...
This video was made possible by
Boxed up.
Brilliant Math and subscription.
I want him boxed up and get ready.
Washington's butt was sufficiently kicked. Winter was here. His troops' morale was low, some just up and left. Washington needed to do something, anything to restore faith in the revolution. The British had spread throughout New Jersey and settled in for a winter of drinking cider and partying hard. Nobody expected an attack in the winter, so Washington started making plans for an attack in the winter. The British had hired a large force of Hessian mercenaries from the German states of Hesse-Kassel and Hesse-Hanau to fight the rebels. It was these mercenaries that were stationed across the Delaware River from Washington and his army. And there were more Hessian reinforcements incoming, but they made an unscheduled stop because their commander got thirsty. No, not that kind of thirsty. That kind of thirsty. It was Christmas Eve with a blizzard outside when Washington heard the Hessian defenses were down, and he decided to attack. He made a perilous crossing of the icy Delaware River with 2,400 men and marched 9 miles to Trenton, where he caught the Hessian forces completely off guard. After a short but fierce battle, the Hessians surrendered in droves. It was a much-needed victory that sent a clear message, not only to the British, but to Americans across the colonies. It was a much-needed victory that sent a clear message, short but fierce battle. The Hessians surrendered in droves. It was a much-needed victory that sent a clear message, not only to the British, but to Americans across the colonies. The war was far from lost. General Cornwallis led the British forces south to counterattack the Americans, but in a series of battles, Washington's defensive positioning and flanking maneuvers defeated the British 3 times in 10 days, and the British decided to abandon southern New Jersey for the rest of the winter. Washington finally set up a winter camp in Morristown, but for the Americans, there was much less partying than the British. Elsewhere, the British had taken Newport, Rhode Island, because it was a good naval base. In the south, they failed to take Charleston, South Carolina, which left British loyalists unsupported and vulnerable to more harassment and even mass expulsion. Congress sent Benjamin Franklin to France on a mission to convince them to join the war, and while the French generally loved any opportunity to hoodwink the Brits, they didn't want to join unless it was a sure win. So for now, Franklin spent his days chilling out and chasing tail. The British Parliament couldn't believe the war wasn't over yet, and the pressure was on to end it. So the British came up with a plan. General Burgoyne in Montreal and General William Howe in New York would advance through the Hudson Valley and meet in the middle, splitting the colonies in two, and thus screwing over the American communication lines. Burgoyne began his movement south, and after taking Fort Ticonderoga quite easily, he then came across heavy American resistance, so he sent Howe a dingle-dongle asking if he'd be showing up anytime soon. Meanwhile, Howe had completely abandoned the plan and gone for all-out personal glory by capturing the American capital, Philadelphia. He defeated Washington and his army at Brandywine Creek by using the old hit him with a decoy and flank him from behind tactic, and Philadelphia was now in British hands, forcing Congress to escape to York. But Burgoyne was left on his own to face the ever-increasing American force in Saratoga. American General Horatio Gates teamed up with our old friend Benedict Arnold to deal one final blow to Burgoyne's army. Arnold wanted to take the fight to the British, but Gates wanted to wait for the British to come to them. After a heated debate, Gates, the senior officer, told Arnold to go to his room, but Arnold defied his orders, and at the Battle of Bemis Heights, he charged at the British and obliterated them. Great job, Horatio. By the way, what happened to that other guy who was in Saratoga? Who? Benedict Arnold. Never heard of him. Ouch. Hey, George, didn't I do a great job?
Nigga, bitch.
Taking Philadelphia and all? Didn't I? You're fired. Both Burgoyne and Howe returned to Great Britain, leaving British General Henry Clinton to take charge of the war. And the war was about to take a nasty turn, because with the victory at Saratoga, the French were finally ready to join the Americans. Alright, Benny, we're in. Hey, isn't this kind of funny? You know, because you're a republic trying to overthrow an absolute monarchy, and I'm an absolute monarchy helping you? Like, could you imagine if your revolution inspired my people to revolt against me, and then they imprisoned me and all my family, and they chopped all of our heads off? Could you imagine? That's called foreshadowing. For now in America, winter was here. That's called
War of the Bucket. What the fuck? Okay.
foreshadowing. For now in America, winter was here once again, which meant yet more disease, more starvation, and even a little mutiny. After losing Philadelphia, Washington's job was again on the line, but suddenly, a Persian guy with a very fancy name, hired by Benjamin Franklin, showed up out of nowhere and said, "Hey, I'm here to give your men a European military training." And train them he did. They learned how to shoot accurately, how to march in formation, where to poop and where not to, and strict punishments were handed out to any who didn't comply. Washington's army came out of the winter in 1778 a new and improved force, ready to take Philadelphia back from the British. In the end, though, they didn't have to. With the French entry into the war, the British ordered General Clinton to evacuate Philadelphia and consolidate all of the British forces in New York. So Washington sent Benedict Arnold to reoccupy and secure the city as he pursued the British through New Jersey on land, eventually finding a good opportunity to attack at Monmouth Courthouse. The battle took place on a sweltering hot summer's day, and as many soldiers died from heat stroke as they did from battle. In the end, after some incompetence/borderline treason from Washington's second in command, it was a draw. And in this war, a draw is kind of a victory for the treason from Washington's second in command, it was from battle. In the end, after some incompetence/borderline treason from Washington's second in command, it was a draw. And in this war, a draw is kind of a victory for the Americans. Next up, let's talk about this guy. This is John Paul Jones. John Paul Jones is handsome, Scottish, and absolutely insane. When the war first broke out, everyone was like, how did the colonies expect to stand up to the might of the British Navy with their meager fleet of converted merchantmen? Yep, try telling that to John Paul Jones. This guy sailed to the British Isles, somehow captured a British ship off the coast of Ireland, and brought it back to France. Then he returned, attacking more ships, raiding towns, and evading capture the entire time.
No, that nigga was insane. He used to be a fucking pirate, I think.
But hey,
was he a pirate? Nah, that nigga.
if it works, it works. In one incident, he captured a British ship and returned to a Dutch port without an official ensign because his was lost during the battle. That's a big no-no and can have you arrested as a pirate. The Dutch helped him out by quickly creating a design based on Benjamin Franklin's description of what the American flag should look like, and they entered it into their records as an official US flag. What they came up with looks pretty cool. The whole campaign probably played heavily on British morale and brought into question their ability to win the war. And fun fact, he was so cool that one of the towns he raided in 1778 gave him an official honorary pardon in 1999. Keep ripping in heaven, John Paul Jones. You're an angel now. What the Continental Navy was lacking in resources, though, the French entry... Jones. You're an angel now. What the Continental Navy was lacking in resources, though, the French entry into the war made up for. The French began with naval skirmishes in the English Channel, and they sent a large fleet to America, although it sustained a lot of damage in a storm off Rhode Island. The Americans were hoping for a bigger commitment.
Didn't they have gold on that hoe?
The French. So John Adams went to France to help Benjamin Franklin continue negotiations. Oh good, you're finally here. Check this out. Hey ladies, I'd like to fly you like a kite, cause you're electrifying. Isn't this great? Is this what you've been doing? Yeah, why? We were sent here on a diplomatic mission to secure military support from France, not to philander with the locals. Wait, no ladies, come back. Worst wingman ever.
If you edit video, you need great voiceover work. Whether your video calls for a classic extraordinary.
But the Americans would get...
Y'all hear that shit? This nigga sounded like...
some more help. The Dutch provided aid, although they never formed an official alliance. More significantly, though, the Spanish, who had already been providing aid, officially joined the war in June 1779. They would provide support in the Midwest and the Gulf Coast, campaigns that heavily impacted the Native American tribes in those areas. Both sides actually enlisted the help of Native American tribes throughout the war, sometimes even pitting those tribes against each other. In the summer of 1779, after a series of raids against the Americans by the Iroquois, Washington organized an expedition that burned down more than 40 villages, forcing the tribes to relocate to Canada for British protection. And another group that shouldn't go unmentioned were African Americans, both free and enslaved. They joined both sides of the war, hoping to gain their freedom. But afterwards, many were simply returned to slavery, particularly those who had fought for the Americans. Despite owning slaves himself, Jefferson had written a condemnation of slavery in the Declaration of Independence, but out of fear of offending the southern colonies, this was removed from the final draft. For the same reason, the American Army stopped enlisting African American men in 1775, a policy that Washington, a slave owner himself, supported, but they were forced to reverse the policy after the British promised freedom to any slaves who joined them. In general, you stood a better chance of gaining freedom if you fought for the British. However, even those that left with the British after the war suffered mistreatment and discrimination in their new lives outside of America. Our good friend Benedict Arnold is now in charge of Philadelphia, having a good time, partying down with, and even marrying a member of the Philadelphia elite. The same elite that had partied down with the British when they controlled the city. And suddenly, the people of Philadelphia, including the state governor, started accusing Arnold of having pro-British sentiments. To keep the people happy, Washington wrote a letter rebuking Arnold, calling his conduct imprudent and improper, and that was too many ouchies for Benedict Arnold to handle. He asked Washington to put him in charge of the fort at West Point. Then he contacted the British, offering to hand the plans of the fort over to them and join their side. Our good friend Benedict Arnold is our good friend no more. Luckily, the treasonous plans were discovered on a captured British officer, but Arnold managed to escape before he was arrested. As a British brigadier general, he would go on to lead raids against American cities, most notably his raid of Richmond, Virginia in 1781. His betrayal shook George Washington, who had once again set up camp at Morristown. His leadership somehow held the Continental Army together through the harshest winter of the war. We're entering 1780, and Parliament was hopping mad that the war still wasn't over. The British debt was soaring, and despite taking parts of Massachusetts in late 1779, the North was in a stalemate, so the British decided to make a major shift in strategy to the South, an economically rich area with a higher level of support for the British, or so the British thought. A year earlier, they had captured the underdefended city of Savannah, Georgia easily, and a joint American-French counter-siege failed. Now, they laid siege to Charleston, South Carolina. It fell within months, with thousands of American troops surrendering to the British, a costly defeat. The British quickly moved to take control, and they sent stereotypical Hollywood villain with a British accent Bannister the Butcher Tarleton into the backcountry, where he hunted down rebels and destroyed them with ruthless brutality. The British presence also inspired local loyalist militias in the backcountry to rise up against their persecutors. The British really seemed to be onto something with their new strategy, and the ball was very much in Washington's court. I'm gonna send my most loyal general, Nathaniel Greene, to the south to stop the British. Gonna have to overrule you there, George. We're sending hero of Saratoga and your biggest rival, Horatio Gates. Watch this, George. I'm gonna save the day again, everybody will love me, and I'm gonna get your job. Here I go. And he got into one battle with Cornwallis, got annihilated, and ran away. Alrighty, let's go with your guy. Nathaniel Greene knew the British outnumbered his own forces and wouldn't be defeated with conventional tactics, so he had to think outside the box. He split his army into two, said, "Hey big boy, look at me," and then they went running in two different directions. Cornwallis sent Tarleton after Morgan, and he caught up with him at Cowpens, where Morgan proceeded to kick Tarleton's butt. Then the two led Cornwallis on a wild chase through North Carolina, his bigger and better equipped army much heavier and slower than Greene's quick and mobile troops. Greene led Cornwallis further and further from his supply line, then crossed the Dan River into Virginia, picked up some reinforcements, and turned back to face the now exhausted British. At the Battle of Guilford Courthouse, the two sides...
Pow! Like, that's basically what they did.
Vicious close combat. Cornwallis, fearing loss, fired his big guns into the chaotic fighting, cutting down many of his own men. Greene retreated, giving Cornwallis the victory, but Cornwallis lost a quarter of his men in the fighting, so it felt much more like a British defeat. At this point, both sides desperately needed something to happen soon to end the fighting. The British were running out of money, while the Americans were again facing mutinies as the men went without pay or even basic living needs. Fortunately, the French were now showing up in greater numbers and were ready to fight. After his encounter with Greene, Cornwallis decided the only way to win the South was to first prevent the Southern Continental Army from using Virginia as a supply base. So he abandoned the Carolinas, moving to Wilmington and on to Yorktown, a position the British believed would be easy to supply and support. On his march to Yorktown, he raided many farms, stealing horses and supplies from the locals, but also freeing thousands of slaves, many of whom joined him. The French saw Cornwallis's new position as an opportunity to land a decisive blow on the British. Washington wanted to attack Clinton in New York, but the French said it was a really dumb idea. And to be fair, it was. Instead, Washington sent out fake dispatches to make it look like they would attack Clinton, but secretly their combined force marched all the way down to Virginia. A large French fleet under the command of Comte de Grasse arrived and successfully cleared the British Navy out of the Chesapeake Bay. The combined land and naval forces then laid siege to Cornwallis's army in Yorktown. The American and French forces tightened in around the city, raining artillery down on Cornwallis, who desperately appealed to Clinton for aid, but Clinton was unusually chilled out about the whole thing. Cornwallis held out for nearly a month before he had no choice but to surrender. Over 7,000 British troops were captured, a crushing defeat, and with that, Parliament had reached the end of its rope. The war just wasn't worth it, and it needed to end now. The British still held New York, Charleston, and Savannah, but fighting between the two sides mostly ceased as peace negotiations opened up in Paris. The resulting treaty in 1783 saw Great Britain remove its troops from American soil, recognize U.S. independence, and cede territory up to the Mississippi River. In return, the Americans agreed to pay any debt still owed to Britain and gave fair treatment to any colonists who had remained loyal to the crown. The Spanish got Florida, while the French got an economic crisis that led to its own revolution a decade later. Washington retired to his home in Mount Vernon, wishing his men farewell by saying, "I most devoutly wish that your latter days may be as prosperous and happy as your former ones have been glorious and honorable." He hoped to live out the rest of his days in peace, but unfortunately for him, a number of people wanted him to be the first leader of the new country, and by a number of people, I mean literally everyone. The first election campaign campaign in American history was basically a grassroots effort to convince Washington to accept the office. He was sworn in on April 30th, 1789, and he himself established many of the standards and limitations of what the American leader
campaign funds to pay your making treaties with foreign nations.
First of all, there was debate on what he should be called. Is he a king? Is he our glorious leader? In the end, they went for a word that at the time was pretty modest. President, like the president of your local bowling club or office bake sale committee. He set up a cabinet of expert advisors, knowing that no president could know everything, no matter how much of a stable genius they claimed to be. He proposed major legislation to Congress and gave an annual State of the Union address to keep his own power in check. He stated that the US should remain neutral in foreign conflicts, and in the end, he voluntarily gave up his power after just that the US should remain neutral in foreign conflict. And in the end, he voluntarily gave up his power after just 2 terms. He could have made the presidency anything he wanted, but his careful and cautious actions helped set the precedent of an office that is powerful in its limitations, decisive through its diplomacy, and respected in its humility. And so the United States was born, and everything was perfect. It had no problems, not a single one. Certainly nothing that would, I don't know, cause such an extreme divide that it would lead to a civil war. Anyway, moving on. Quick quiz. Name the most American thing you can think of. Baseball? Bald eagles?
And here we go. Okay. But French Revolution, nigga.
So what is ClickUp? ClickUp
Watching
is an
that shit.
all-in-one productivity software
Yes,
where you
sir.
can manage everything and
This video was made possible by NordVPN. Click the link down below to get 70% off an app.
I gonna hold you. I gonna hold you. We back to it. We back to the action.
From off the wind, Stunzels, let's ride this squall! Douse the gallants and royals! Hold on and crew up! Furl those men! Loose main sails! Lay off the loose main!
Dressed in white, like some fair bride. And bravely in her bosom fair. Lowlands, lowlands, oh, in the John. A red, red rose my love did wear. Lowlands growing. She made no sound.
This man's working for Peter Beckford's people. Do you know them? The Beckfords and their sugar empire.
Aye. The Beckfords and the Draxes. I never worked their plantations, but I knew their names from hearing other men closely.
But you worked the plantation, no?
A modest one, aye. As a striker in the boiling house.
Boiling house? Was it water they boiled? Or something else?
Cane juices. It's a hard process making sugar. Dangerous. Must be why it fetches such a dear price.
What's it like? Toiling on a plantation day and night.
Well, with the cane sugar cut and harvested, it's run between 2 metal rollers and crush the juice from the plant. After collecting the juice, it was time to boil away the waters from the sugar. This we did in thatches made of copper. But let me tell you, brother, boiling sugar is near the hottest thing on earth. Just a touch on the skin will stick like bird lime and burn on, leaving a terrible scar.
Jesus.
Quite the squall picking up, Captain! Every last scrap of duck on the wind! Storm, Captain! Looks bad! Reef the topsails and gallants! Reef the foremen!
It's a risk to anchor too close. The soldiers roving the plantation would catch us for sure.
Drop here then and sneak ashore. We'll look after the jackal.
I need that. I need the black fit. I need to get that black fit on. I ain't got the bag. I ain't got the motherfucking bag for this shit. Yeah.
in himself.
What is that up there? Y'all see that structure up there, bro? Like some Mayan shit.
What's happened here? Why such disarray?
Bit of a do, sir, that's all. It's Wilmington's birthday.
And you saw fit to get pickled on duty?
No bother, sir. We've everything sorted.
With that being said, man. Yeah, I'm gonna go to editing. Play some Val. Hop on Call of Duty story mode. No. Tarka. CS. I think we're gonna go with the little Call of Duty today. You feel me? I think we're gonna go with the Call of Duty. Story mode time. Been live for 3 hours, so been live since 12 o'clock. Just about. It's probably gonna restart. Yep. Close out. So I'm gonna stop the stream actually.